Am I calling the meeting to order?
You're calling it to order.
Let's call the meeting to order, and if we could all join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first item on the agenda today is an election of the chair.
I nominate Commissioner Levesque to serve as chair.
I would support that too.
In a second.
Second, you don't really need it for nominations.
All right, so vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, great.
Don't abuse it.
Oh, really? Oh, I was hoping for that. Public forum, anybody here?
Thank you.
That's so ceremonial. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Hope you got the right one. Okay. You think they more modernize and just say chair, but
I'll add that to the list.
not that I'm complaining, but okay. Next on the public, anybody here for public comment? All right, seeing none.
Right
we
in the
will-
back.
Whoops. Are you, I thought you were here for the other thing, or, well, then come on up and state your name and your town, please. Hi.
Charlene Corbett, and I reside in Bremen. I know two of the commissioners. I'm new to you. And just wanted to introduce myself. I wear many hats in the community, and one of them is as a volunteer firefighter with the Bremen Volunteer Fire Department. I'm also the co-pastor at Sheepsgate Community Church, and my full-time job is serving as the executive director of Healthy Kids. And in all three of those capacities, my work crosses the path of a lot of what you do in the community. And one of the ways that that has happened most recently was December 19th, when I was making a call on an elderly friend of mine before that big windstorm came through. And I was the one that triggered the 911 call because of a propane leak in her home. And I won't go into any of those details. Those are that's her story to tell. But the reason I wanted to say something here this morning was because I am incredibly proud of being a volunteer firefighter in the community. I'm incredibly proud of our emergency response system that took over that event and the way in which it was handled. And I could not be more proud of the way in which all of our fire departments here in the county have mutual responsive aid to one another. And I just wanted to highlight the importance of that work that many people volunteer to put hours into, and with which our towns support through their tax payments and their donations. And I wanted to highlight them in that event today. Secondly, I just wanted to highlight that as Healthy Kids, the executor of Healthy Kids, I have deep appreciation to the Lincoln County Commissioners for their support through the opioid settlement funds and the contracted work that we did through our RFP, and that we're continuing to do through December 31st. And Healthy Kids is the child abuse and neglect prevention agency for both Lincoln and Knox counties. We've been serving over 40 years. And that support helps us to touch base not only with families who are in recovery or who are seeking sobriety in their lives and the impact that that has on their families, but we do work at Two Bridges Jail. We're at Baldock Correctional Facility and the Knox County jails, where some of our residents in our county must reside for their own specific reasons. And we've touched hundreds of lives, and we've done more so because of the Lincoln County Commissioner's support. And so I just wanted to come and thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for her? Thank you. It's, I've noticed that, any calls regarding propane seem to be taken really serious, after the Farmington incidents and, you know, kudos to all the departments who do that extra training. It's, you know, well worth it to protect not just the residents, but themselves, when they respond to those calls. So thank you for being part of that.
Despite the neighborly inconvenience that went on for 2 days.
Yeah, well, with the wood stove and candles can help, I guess. Then you wouldn't have to be called for other stuff too, I guess, so candles. All right, moving on, the minutes from December 16, 2025.
Move to approve the minutes of December 16th, 2025.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes of December 16. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes 3-0. On to finance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
morning.
You're not Michelle.
No, I'm not Michelle. I'm with Michelle today. She's out.
Okay,
So I have, starting off, I have 3 accounts payable warrants. Number 94 first. And the total on that one is $207,417.05. The larger items on that are the monthly main PERS retirement payment, $79,311.53. The payment to Lincoln Saginaw Jail Authority for mat funding, $60,000. I'm sorry, $60,779. Midcoast Hospital Recovery Coaching, that's a monthly payment, $11,974.50. Credit card statement, $7,942.70. And payment to Maine Pretrial Services for Case Management, $7,845.
I move we approve the warrant 94.
Seconded.
been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It passes 3-0.
Okay, next is warrant 96. That was a warrant total of $36,412.88. And that was to Pine State Elevator for elevator repairs, $19,800. And New England Kenworth for repairs to a recycling truck, $7,853.56.
I move we approve warrant 96.
Second.
Carrie, is that the end of Pine Street's work there?
No, that was just the repairs to get the elevator back up and running.
Because I thought it was gonna be a lot more expensive
It,
than that.
it will be. So we chose the higher amount to get the emergency repairs done so that the components they use can be used in the larger repair that's scheduled for April. They had to order a lot of parts and components for the elevator.
Been moved and seconded for the warrant 96. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3-0.
Um,
97.
97 is just a little one, a little add-on. It was at the end of the day after I had closed the other, so it's just $175 on AP warrant 97.
I so move we approve.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3-0.
So
Payroll.
payroll warrant 2025-26 is the last of the year. And the total liability on that is $295,097.90. Overtime on that one was $20,888.95.
I move we approve the payroll.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Could you just address it looks like we went over on that budget, on overtime, but under on the wages. Can you just generally
So we had,
say what those are?
we had experienced a lot higher overtime costs during the spring and summer when we were operating a different shift at the comm center. We had a bunch of vacancies throughout the year that we were trying to cover. But we also knew that we had budget dollars that weren't being spent in regular wages as a result of the vacancies. So we anticipated going over in the overtime line, but the regular wages are well underneath,
Significantly down. yeah.
significantly less.
So, but for
So-
2026, we're looking to be more on it because of the,
Yeah,
Hiring.
our staffing is a lot more robust right now than it was this time last year. So we should be in line with what we budgeted for overtime for 26.
any questions further from?
No.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve payroll warrant. All in favor?
I,
Aye, it passes 3-0. Okay, so need one more, yeah. And then that one. So that's one. You think his ringtone would be a siren or something?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Sheriff, you're up.
Morning,
Good morning. Thank you.
happy new year.
Happy
New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Welcome back for the year 2026. Welcome to the beginning, I should say.
We're always beginning.
Thanks.
The chair, it looks like our count this morning out at Two Bridges is 153. We have 26, 20 from SAG, 53 from Knox, 45 from Penobscot, 3 from the Marshal Service and 6 from ICE.
Isn't that, that seems lower than usual? Aren't we in the 170s?
Yeah, I push it down right now. I'm not sure where we are in the full transition with Knox County
Mhm.
under the new contract. Yeah, and our ICE numbers have been ticking downward.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Oh,
that's that.
I think it gives me a little sense of what's going on. And the agreement with Knox is now effective starting 2026. Is that my understanding?
I believe it began in December.
In December, okay.
And you notice that by Waldo has dropped off the count there, which is also.
Okay, that could be a major.
So that's part of the,
Yeah.
concern, part of the impact of them. If I can shut this thing up. Sorry about that. If you have no other questions there, the next item I have is a renewal of our ACO contract for the town of Wiscasset. Again, the only changes in the contract are the dates and the wages for the ACO. Just the last page.
I move to approve animal control contract renewal for Wiscasset.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the contract, animal control contract for Wiscasset. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3-0.
Thank you. The next item I have is the same renewal for the town of Damascotta. ACO contract, again, with the same changes.
I move to approve the animal control contract renewal for our town of Damerscott.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the animal control contract for Damascotta. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes 3-0. Do you ever envision a day when you have them all done at once?
Well,
Good luck.
I set a goal for that. In fact, the next item on the agenda was a marine services contract, which I can't put my hands on, so I don't know. Chief Maker is away. I'm not sure what town it is, so it's gonna have to wait for your next meeting. I apologize for that.
Ibbott score.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
There's that title. bridge.
Lambs up there, pretty tough.
The next several items I have, Mr. Chair, are just purchase authorizations. The first one is in the series is renewal of our software agreement with our fingerprint live scan from IDEMIA in the amount of $3,420. It's a budgeted amount.
Move we approve.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions concerning? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes 3-0. That's just like software, right?
That's software.
Yeah.
It's the annual maintenance on the software for the digitized fingerprint machine that we have. The next two items I have are Coastal Electronics invoices. This is for complete installs and new police vehicles. The first one is in the amount of $9,692.90.
Are those two different vehicles?
Two different vehicles, yes.
Move to approve Coastal Electronics for both of them, 9,962 and 90 and 8,654 and 71.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? So that's the complete, all the electronics.
That's
for
everything. That's the lights, the siren, the
Computer,
computer, radio installs, cages, computer mounts, everything
Okay.
everything that's included there. Yeah.
nice. Nothing. Any additional questions? No. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. And that's labor and materials, like.
It's labor and
Yeah.
materials. Copy of the invoice, I think, is attached there for you. The next two items I have are from Motorola. One is for our body cams, one is for our in-car cruisers. This is the first one, the amount of $2,700, again, is a budgeted amount, and it's our software renewal or year 2 of a 5-year subscription. The second one is for the same thing for 3 of our in-car cameras, right? And the amount is $8,100.
Move to approve purchase authorizations for Motorola Solutions for $2,700 and $8,100.
Second.
Yeah, no order there.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Motorola Solutions purchase authorizations. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
Thank you. The next one I have is our annual renewal. This is hopefully our last subscription renewal with IMC TriTech, also known as Central Square, as we transition to the new Central Square Pro software, but this will cover our annual maintenance and software upgrades in the amount of $41,473.89. Also a budgeted amount.
So move to approve that. The Central Square.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Sheriff, you say it's software, but what is the use? Is like
So-
like the background of your,
Yeah,
Um,
it's really it's our complete records management system. So for dispatch, it's CAD, computer aided dispatch.
Okay.
For us, it's it's how we do our arrest reports, incident reports, case reports. It's how we gather data. It's essentially everything that we do is recorded in the system. That's our digital system.
evidence and.
Evidence is in there,
in
yeah,
there.
photograph,
Okay.
you know what I mean, everything.
Okay.
Yep,
Basically the whole office software.
that's exactly what it is.
Any further questions, concerns? Right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes 3-0. Lexipol.
Thank you. Yeah, the next one I have is our Lexipol training online annual fee. This is we do a number of different things online training. Among those are whatever there are annual academy requirements that differ every year. Those classes are digitized and put online so officers can access them throughout the year. Annual mandatory retraining requirements from the academy, and then we have a variety of annual trainings like our, sexual harassment, workplace harassment, annual training requirements for supervisors and deputies, fire extinguisher safety, all the things that we're required to do annually through either our Department of Labor requirements or our federal requirements or state requirements. So we do as many of those online as we can. It helps minimize our overtime, sitting in the classroom, moving people around. And it's been very helpful for us over the years. So that's our annual subscription to get the department completely taken care of with all those training requirements.
Move to approve purchase authorization for Lexipol Maine.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I would just say it's great to see, I think training is very important and, the a way to deliver it, to make sure that it happens is great. And, I did speak to one deputy at one time that he was out in the community and I approached him and he just said that he was doing some training as he was waiting there. So, wasn't doing a speed detail. He was doing training, but that was great because he found a moment to get some done. So that's perfect. So if there's no other questions or comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes 3-0.
Thank you, and if it's okay with the board, I had one last bill come in after the agenda was posted is for our annual subscription to Power DMS. Which is we do a number of things with Power DMS. So on the training side, it's how we track training, right? So in Police One is where we do the training and they'll show us who's done what and how many hours they've spent. And then Power DMS allows us to take everybody's training records, whether it's from Police One or from the academy or from in-service training, and consolidate those. It's how we track training for all of our staff. In addition to that, it's how we manage our policies. It's how we send out policy updates to staff annually. There's an electronic signature there, and so it keeps track of that. And we can create trainings. We have an in-house training like time when we're at the firearms range, or times when we're doing an active shooter training or a drill, emergency management drill or something like that. We're able to create training records for those within the system, and right up through lesson plans if we need to, and keep those well documented for us. So it's an annual subscription, just renewal for us. Again, a budgeted amount of $9,087.15.
Can you
One
repeat
of
that?
those,
amount?
$9,087.15.
Mhm. 15 cents. Does it send you notifications if somebody's behind in training
does.
or something?
It does, yeah. It
Nice.
lets us know if they're required to sign off. I just sent out a new policy. We just updated our Brady Giglio, information sharing requirements, which includes, our constitutional requirements under Brady Giglio. For example, our mandatory reporting to the academy, as far as, any officer misconduct or annual reporting requirements to the academy that are legislatively mandated. It will send notifications. Let me know when I send that policy out, it lets me know, I can set a deadline. If people haven't signed off or read it and reviewed it by then, it gives us alerts, we can follow up, and it records when they've read it. When they signed it, and those kind of things, it's all electronically, but
Right.
yeah, it's really it's a pretty robust
Right.
system.
And you said you can add in your in-house training to
Yes.
it, so there's a record for everybody of how much training they've taken.
Yes.
It's great. What would your? like to do?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the expenditure. All in favor, or any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes 3-0.
Are these ready to pay?
Are you done spending money?
It's, that's what I do best. The last item I have, Mr. Chair, while you're finishing up signing that, is just an update. A couple of meetings ago, I'm sorry, I can't remember if it was your December 16th meeting, or the first meeting in December, I brought a couple of names forward for conditional offer of employment. Told you I'd keep you updated on that. Well, since that time, we've finished the background, and one of the employees the names put forward was dropped out of the process as a result of the background investigation. So we have Zach Smith, who's still with us, and we're hopeful to get Zach off into the police academy. He started officially, I think, this week. And we're hoping to get him off in the full-time police academy first of next month. So that just, I had asked you to allow me to hire 2 folks, even though we only had 1 vacancy. This is kind of the reason. And I appreciate you allowing me to do that. So formally, one of those has had to drop out of the process. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice haircut, by the way.
Thanks.
Looks like it's Emily. You were,
Emily's weird.
what?
Emily's
Oh,
loves.
I would say to the second.
no.
That's their own show.
Our sounds good.
Emily and Emily, or Emily Squared, or Emily Two, however you want to name it.
Do most of the talking because I'll start coughing.
That's fine. Good morning. I think the first thing that we have on the agenda today is we're looking to get the adoption for our hazard mitigation plan, our 2026 hazard mitigation plan that has been approved pending adoption. So it has been approved by FEMA with everything that we've put into our plan. And then we're we're working towards getting adoptions through each town and at our county level. So you folks up there. This year's plan focuses heavily on coastal flooding, a severe winter and summer storms. And then we did kind of a simultaneous ruling, or I can't remember what that reading for drought and wildfire, because that is something that has come up significantly in the last couple of years for Lincoln County. Because you can't fight a fire without having water. And a lot of our water resources rely on ponds and lakes and not a hydrant system. So yeah, that is the first.
I brought a copy. I didn't know if you needed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll take yours.
yeah, I made it specific to the
Okay,
questions.
so this is the first one. Are there any questions on the?
So I know you worked with all the towns. Do you expect any problems with everybody approving the?
You should read the resolution also. It's okay.
I don't believe that there'll be any issues with them signing on to our hazard mitigation plan. Gives coverage to every single town in Lincoln County if they were to adopt the plan. But it also gives them an opportunity for federal grant monies to help with building mitigation projects and working towards mitigation projects in their own towns. So
And they've already given you feedback. on
yes,
the
they
plan
were,
and stuff like
every
that.
town had some part in the plan, and they worked.
Did you want to present that?
So whereas a natural and man-made disaster may occur at any time, we recognize that to lessen the impacts of these disasters, we will save resources, property, lives, and lives in Lincoln County. And whereas the creation and multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan is necessary for development of a risk assessment and effective mitigation strategy. And whereas this multi-jurisdictional county of 18 towns, 1 plantation, and a portion of Maine's unorganized territories is committed to the mitigation goals and measures as presented in this plan. Therefore, the Board of Selectmen and the incorporated towns and the 1 plantation hereby adopt the Lincoln County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2026 update. And therefore, the Lincoln County Commissioners acting on behalf of the county and its unorganized territories hereby adopt the Lincoln County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2026 update.
We don't have the motion yet, do we?
No, not yet, but I'll still take it.
I move, so move.
Mhm.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed resolution. Any further discussion?
I have an off the wall question. Is anything in the hazard mitigation plan could be used for towns to either enroll or update their participation in the community rating system through the National Flood Insurance Program?
It will play into it slightly. There's efforts at the state through LD1, which was adopted last March, I think, to get towns enrolled in the CRIS system. And what they're hoping to do is actually put a staff person at each RPO to then assist towns
That would be
to
good.
enroll. So
People that are never
I'm
going to do
hoping
it.
to be back sometime in like April or May with some more information about that. But there is a push at the state level to get
Good.
more towns enrolled, and this will play a small role because it'll show that they have an adopted plan,
Yeah.
which is one of the requirements.
That's a pet thing of mine.
Among your many pets. Any other comments, question? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor of adopting the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3.
Excellent work.
I think it goes without we want to recognize everyone who played a role in the plan. Our planning office did all of the heavy lifting, or the majority of the heavy lifting in writing our plan. And everybody played a huge role in just getting the work done. We had some significant deadlines to meet in order for some agencies or municipalities not to lose any hazard mitigation funding. So that was a big push to get done. And it looks like, from what I briefly read in my email yesterday, that everything went through and nobody's losing funding because we were able to work really hard on getting this through.
Super. Well, thank you for putting all that time into doing it and making sure that you got it done. So, thank you.
And I will say, we did this back in 2021 because it's every 5 years, and this year's participation from the local municipalities was far and away more robust than 2020. Granted, that was because we were trying to do it all by Zoom, which made it a challenge given where we were in 2020, but it was really wonderful. Every time we had an ask, Emily and Emma and Frank went to the municipalities and got what was needed, and they were really, really invested at the local level in putting this together for the county as well.
Good, exciting.
Take that and scan it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
E4H.
So the next item I have on the agenda is a renewal for our subscription to D4H. It's the incident management and personnel tracking, training tracking that we use and we have used since, I think, 2018. D4H, as I explained last year, plays a significant role in our agency, especially around storms, large-scale multi-jurisdictional events. It's essentially the database where we can track all of the information. It allows for us to have CMP liaisons on D4H and watching every single thing that is happening in Lincoln County. So we've been able to have roads open faster, get the emergency vehicles through. If there's an incident that comes up, so we really rely on D4H during those big times, and it acts as a whole nother human in our office, which is huge. We're able to coordinate amongst every single agency in Lincoln County, including our communication center and external stakeholders. So
How much is that?
that's going to be for $4,160.
4,160?
Yep.
Move to approve the D4H contract renewal, 4,160.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I'll just say that I did monitor it during the last windstorm, and it was very helpful. There's photographs that some of the particularly fire departments put their trees over wires, informing the community to stay away, road closures. So it's a really good tool to inform the people who are connected to it. So, and if the other commissioners aren't using it, I'd recommend that you talk with Emily to see it, because it you can really see the work that goes into dealing with an emergency within our county. And I guess for ratings, this was like a second tier one. It wasn't
Yeah.
the great really intense storm, but it was still a storm, and there were some things that had to be noted, and getting the word out about the road closures were big, I think.
I called that last storm a learning storm. There were a lot of other elements that got thrown into the storm. We had 2 propane leaks in the county, which were of significance. One was a healthcare facility, and one was on a street that houses are sitting pretty close to it. So we were helping manage, I guess, those incidents on top of all of the road closures, and trying to just get responders where they needed to be. On top of that, I think that every person in my office, that was their first storm of significance to be able to utilize the system. I believe everyone at the communication center was fairly new to using that system, so it was a big learning storm, and it still went as fluently as I would have expected it to. And I'm appreciative that you got to see that and utilize it. The other great feature of it is that we're able to share a live link to our community members. So we post it on our website, our social medias, so that they also can see road closures. And it does get updated with warming centers or cooling centers as that comes up as well, which is usually when we're in a longer term event. So
Is that more automatic, or you just like hook a link somehow?
so I open a link,
Hmm.
and again, we usually will post it when it comes out to our websites, and then all of the information for the road data section and the emergency facility section gets updated on that link, along with our operational period plan, what we're doing in our office, how we're doing it, and what are our goals for that incident operation period.
So if somebody has power for future storms, to check social media that they can see for warming centers or road closures,
Yep.
whatever. Well, great, that's super. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
It's honestly just the name of the organization, so I don't think it has a meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
It's the company name.
it's the company.
Company
Yeah.
name, yeah, so. I know when you open it up, it says D4H on it.
It's a company, they're out of Ireland, and they're great to work with. We work directly with the executive there.
I was just wondering.
Mhm.
Readiness and awareness software.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay to vote?
Great,
It'd be great.
thank you very much. All right. Terry.
So next up, we have another payment authorization, and this is in regards to our ARPA funding. We made some allocations to our Community Navigator program in two different forms. The larger amount is through CLC YMCA. They cover, I believe it's 13 or 14 of our towns, and then the Community Resource Council in the Boothbay area covers the towns in the Boothbay Peninsula. We allocated funds in proportion per capita to the CRC, and that check for 2025 is ready to be cut. The amount that was allocated was $35,070.05.
Move to approve payment authorization to the Community Resource Council Navigator, $35,070.05.
Second?
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 3. Will they be coming in at some point? I know we've been trying to set something up for just an update from them on.
Would you
The
like
program.
both at the same meeting, or do
I,
you have a preference?
I don't think I have a preference.
No preference.
Just
Okay.
hearing from them would be great, since it is a lot of money either way, so.
I'd prefer if they came in on different meetings.
All right, next is a draft job description for our human resources position. As a reminder, our current HR coordinator is retiring at the end of January. And what was proposed in the budget is to have this as a full-time position for Lincoln County instead of a shared position with Two Bridges Jail. Two Bridges is also taking the same approach to make it a full-time position on their end, and I'll be meeting with Colonel Bailey later this week to help with those job descriptions in his organization. But what I'm proposing for you today is a draft job description. Today I'm calling it a Human Resources Manager. I don't know that that title will remain. I need to run this through our position grading process yet. So I don't know that it's at that manager level on our pay scale. But what I've proposed here is a pretty significant change in job duties, focusing on leave administration, recruitment and onboarding, training and development, employee wellness and safety, employee relations and support, benefits administration, records management, compliance and policy support, and general HR support. This is a lot for one position. It's a very large change for us. In the past, or currently actually, we've got a half-time person, and then I fill in and our finance director fills in to meet the things that we're required to do. But there's also things that we identified when we met about the position that we think are falling through the cracks, that we could become a stronger organization and really focus on employee retention instead of attracting new employees. Let's keep the ones that we have. Let's invest in them and make this the organization that we really can envision it being. So a lot of the job duties that are in this description are trying to capture that change. I would like to have this position posted in the next few weeks. So I know I just gave this to you this morning. We were planning on having it to you sooner, but that didn't happen. So if you need more time to review it, I'd be happy to put it on the next agenda. Or if you're comfortable moving forward in the direction we're headed, I can finalize the grading of it and send that information to you after the meeting.
I would think we should need to know the grading for it to be complete. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I'm
Um,
really not trying to rush you.
Is the Two Bridges person going to have in their duties to be a backup to here?
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle and I do that currently. So I wouldn't see a time where we would need somebody from Two Bridges to come here to cover. We
Okay.
have enough resources on staff that we can do that
It
ourselves.
was good that we were sharing, but it's also good to separate and just have our own dedicated person. It sounds like, and I presume it's gonna free up others to do their own duties as well.
That's what I'm hoping.
That's the goal, okay. And sounds like what I heard you say is plenty of work for this position. Being so many pages, I guess that is correct.
Yeah, there's a lot of HR type duties that our department managers are doing. For example, when the sheriff has a deputy that he wants to hire, his staff is handling a lot of that recruitment, scheduling of interviews and all of the things that you might typically see with an HR position. So it could free up our law enforcement folks. It could free up our comm center director. It will certainly free up staff in this building and really consolidate those efforts to a person that's dedicated specifically to HR.
Right.
And I think we've grown in volume with employees and the requirements that we have, whether it's family medical leave or now the new paid family medical leave that's coming. I think that there's a lot more responsibility that we weren't facing 10 or 20 years ago.
Any other questions for Carrie about this? Presume it's just for information purposes now, but we'll look forward to seeing the final version of this with the final title and the grading at the next meeting.
If you don't mind, I'll email it to you as soon as I have it, so
That would-
you'll have time to review
That
it.
would be great.
Okay, thank you.
You?
Looks pretty thorough as it is. And just to confirm, this will be a salaried position, correct?
At this point in time, I am planning to make it an exempt position, but I need to verify that it qualifies under the exempt rules before that can be finalized.
Thank you.
The next item I have, I don't have an answer yet on the tax abatements for the next round. We have one scheduled today, but we also have two more coming. I reached out to the town and asked if the 15th was a viable date. I think it will be. I've spoken with one of the applicants and that date works. The other applicant is actually out of town through the winter, so we might be doing it by Zoom if that's an acceptable arrangement. So if we could postpone or table that for now, I might have an answer later when we have the hearing, if the town is present for that.
Any objections to postponing?
Nope.
No, okay.
Hard to object. It's not gonna show up anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
So as of now, we've got nothing for the 15th.
so as of now, I have one applicant that has confirmed
Okay,
that
so we
he is
definitely, we
available.
definitely are. For February 15th or January 15th?
January
Okay,
15th.
that's what I got in the calendar.
If the town is
Yeah.
available, then
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
And remind me, are these both Noblesboro town?
All of them are.
Okay, then that normally happens with a revaluation.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. We saw that in the past.
Yes.
Next up is our opioid settlement grant reports. I reached out to the grant recipients this year and asked for a report on how they've spent the dollars so far, what successes they've had. At the last meeting, we had the report from Hardy Roots, and I've got Maine Health, Common Space, Healthy Lincoln County, and Studio B's report. I only have one that's still outstanding. And I also have a collaboration summary that kind of gives an overview on how the different organizations have worked together to really created a synergy in their efforts so that they can not duplicate services, but kind of work off of each other's successes so that they can be stronger in their own in their own programs. So I gave you a copy of all of the reports. I'm not going to make you suffer through listening to me read them all to you. But if we could highlight the collaboration report, that might kind of give a good summary for the folks that are listening. Piece for each of you of this.
Which one are you
Yeah.
referring to as the
That-
collaboration?
One with the email on the bottom.
With this attached to it.
Oh.
So it talks, this little graphic shows how Healthy Lincoln County has used the funds to distribute Narcan kits, overdose response trainings were held. They had Sharps disposal containers distributed, and this is just a high level gloss on what they're doing. This doesn't encapsulate everything that is being done. Healthy Kids had 480 class hours for parents in recovery, 35 parent coaching session hours at LCRCC, a multi-part TV awareness series with LCTV. Studio B, 3,000 people were reached through 27 events and 4 exhibitions. 100 plus individuals impacted by substance use did art making workshops. And at the annual opioid response summit, the executive director, Peter Brunn, received the governor's award for the work that he's doing. Hardy Roots, we talked about at the last meeting, 1,000 youth instructed in proactive social emotional skill development. Licensed clinical social worker provided nature-based therapy for 53 youth. They partner with 10 Lincoln County schools to provide mental health supports. And you asked me at that meeting what the schools were. I have the answer for you. They partnered with Boothbay Region Elementary, Lincoln Academy, Great Salt Bay, Center for Teaching and Learning, Wiscasset Middle High School, Bristol Consolidated, South Bristol School, Madomic Middle School, and Sheepscot Regional Education. And they had a lot of different activities that they did. And there's also a letter that I have to share with you from the Boothbay Region Elementary School from the principal in regards to the work that Hardy Roots has done and the appreciation that she has for the work that they're doing with the students there. So I can share that with you in a bit.
Great.
Also, the Lincoln County Recovery Community Center had individuals supported through the Emergency Community Fund. They supported resulting in securing housing and avoiding evictions, support resulting in access to treatment and recovery resources. So there's a lot of different initiatives that are happening through these different grants that you've made available through the opioid settlement funds. I now need to take all of this information and summarize it so that our annual report to the Attorney General's office can be submitted. That has to be in by the, I think it's the end of next week, middle of next week. So I'll be reporting this information to them and this will be an annual report for us.
Did you see anything that caused concerns regarding the conditions of the grants or the responsibilities?
The only concern I have is that I haven't heard back from one of the grant recipients and I've reached out a couple different times, so I'll be trying that again. I hope it's just an oversight in emails and that they're having success with the grant funding. Not all of the entities have spent all the dollars. Some have completely spent them and some are still working on the priorities. This was a multi-year process. We gave them an 18-month period to spend the dollars. So they're not required to have them all spent in 1 year. So I don't have any concerns with that. If anything, I'm impressed by the work that they're doing. They're committed. They're overcommitted to this effort. And it's really impressive to see them all working together. I don't see that that's happening in other counties where the different community groups are working off of each other's successes to be
So that
stronger.
they found their way to the sandbox by themselves and nobody had to drag them
I
there.
know. It makes this a
Good.
lot easier, I'll tell you.
And what I thought I heard earlier too is that the sheriff's department is in this mix
Oh,
for
yes.
not just with the behavioral service liaison, but for other interactions.
And they've
So-
been a strong partner in the community for a long time,
Hmm.
before these opioid dollars came into the mixture here.
Hmm.
It's a partnership that the sheriff's office has really been fostering for a long time.
And how long do the grants go, or can we continue to support this? Are they yearly grants or is it multiple years?
So we received a large amount at the beginning of this process. I think it's 25 years that it's spread out payments. We get a large influx of dollars at the beginning, and then annually, that number is $100,000 or less at this point in time. So we're earmarking those future dollars for the behavioral health liaison. I'll say that with a caveat that we don't know what the Purdue settlement looks like. As soon as we know
That's the outstanding one.
I'm
Large
expecting
one.
that to be a large
Yeah.
amount. And once we have information on what that settlement looks like, then you can decide on.
Do you know if there are other lawsuits still in the mix other than them, or might be small?
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything near the size of the Purdue settlement.
If we have the interaction like we do here, it'd be, great to be able to continue to support that if those monies are available.
Absolutely. They've already proven that
Yeah,
they're doing good work with this money, so. Trying to find another solution, I don't know that we're going to have the success that we've seen so far. So I'm just sharing these reports with you. If, as you read through them, if you have questions like we had on the Party Roots report, I can reach out to the individual partners and do the follow-up questions on your behalf.
any other comments about the opioid settlement money from anybody? Yeah. Please, you can sit if you want, but.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will just add that the collaboration between these organizations is a strong one, and we have been at this for longer than what this grant did. We've been doing this work together for a number of years. And we're incredibly appreciative of the opportunities to meet the needs in our community around the opioid crisis and the ways it impacts our entire county. There was an article most recently in 2 weeks ago, I believe, in the paper that highlighted in the Lincoln County News that highlights the work that we've been doing together. We put that information out there for the public to know, to be aware of the impact that our work is doing, and that will continue at least through June 30th when our grants that grant funding ends. And then in last week's paper, you may have seen Lauren Hunt's response, her op-ed to the work that we have been doing. She's a member of the community, and highlighted the importance of the work that we've been doing. So I encourage you to go back to look at those two articles, in addition to the highlights that have been prepared and shared.
That article's on our website. I added it to our
Oh,
website.
excellent. Okay, very
So if
good.
you need it, it's under the
Okay.
news section.
Yeah. And Carrie, of course, has been incredibly helpful and supportive with all of our questions and getting our reports in and things like that. She's been fantastic.
So the administration of the grant hasn't taken too much away from the delivery of the services, I hope.
What an excellent question. And I would respond and say, no, that it was kept incredibly fair and just, and is not as time consuming as other grant applications I have to complete. So excellent question.
Since you're here too, can you just generally give us a overview of like how many families you serve or people that come through your organization and benefit from?
From Healthy
Sure.
Kids?
Yes, from
Distinctly?
your organization.
So I would say Healthy Kids in this past year probably touched at least 1,200 lives here in Lincoln County in one format or another. We do everything from parent education trainings to classes, to support groups, to health group, play groups. We do parent and recovery training and nurturing parent trainings at the jails, as I said before, and Balda Correctional Facility. We're in touch with, we serve 37 towns. We are participating in 10 different school districts, every library we have relationships with in order to reach all of the families within the 2 counties that we serve. One thing that I will highlight that will have, I think, a very direct impact in Lincoln County is a new program that we're missing the word, but we're piloting. We're piloting a program for the next year in Lincoln County, identifying 6 family neighborhoods where we will be sending our educator in directly into low-income neighborhoods, so that not only do they become aware of our resources, but more importantly, we have direct communication with the parents to highlight and uplift their voices of what their needs are in their neighborhoods, what their concerns are, what services they can't get to or have access to, and why. And then our intention is to bring other providers directly to them instead of inviting them to come out to the providers. We will bring other partners and providers directly to them to showcase or highlight how they can be of support. And finally, we'll have 6 convenings over this year for even more yourselves, the hospital, other providers, politicians, anybody who's concerned about the lives of our Lincoln County families, to convene and hear our parents say what it is that they need. So we're doing some very direct hands-on work.
Great. Any other questions for Jen? Well, thank you, and I hope you can come back again and tell us about the successes of Healthy Kids.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome.
We have.
Sorry.
Thanks.
You will read that in your packet.
Thank you. Now the fun of insurance. So
The fun, I
Or-
have great news for the insurance.
Here.
I love to share great news.
actually, I was sort of surprised to see that at the last meeting and like, whoa, how'd that happen? So please do explain.
So our risk pool rate increase for 2026 was finally announced on December 22nd. They had a special meeting specifically for the insurance renewals. And we talked about the different things that contribute to the rate increases and the increases in valuations that a lot of counties are seeing for their county assets. Some counties have added new buildings or increased their auto fleet or added more tower sites, things of that nature. And they went through all the different counties, and as a group, they're seeing an increase of 8.61%. And the highest increase that we're seeing across the state is in Oxford County. They're seeing an 18.59% increase. And as Malcolm was reading through the rates, I was writing them down. And when he got to Lincoln County, he said Lincoln County has a negative 0.2% increase. So it'll actually go down a little bit. I think that this has a direct relation to our outstanding claims or the claims that we've had in the last couple of years. We haven't had a lot of,
Lack of claims, yeah.
we haven't had a lot of extraordinary claims. One of the things that I recall recently was the boiler that,
Mhm.
that wasn't really an at-fault type of claim, but it did go through the risk pool. We've had a few small auto accidents, not anything like some of these counties. At the last meeting, they talked about one of the vehicles that went off the road and the vehicle was totaled as a result of it. So I'll take our few $1,000 repair bill versus an auto that was totaled.
Now, to be fair, do we have an advantage because Two Bridges has its own allocation, is that right?
Mm.
And they're not tied in with Lincoln County?
So Two Bridges does have their own rate and our rate is independent of any activity that's happening there. We do have a corrections component to our rate because we have the jail transport division. The exposure for any type of claims is much different for those employees than it would be for the corrections officers at Two Bridges.
But as compared to the counties that have their own jail, then they have that all in one.
They do
Yeah.
have it all in one.
Yeah.
They do. But Saginaw County, our partner at Two Bridges, is seeing a 10% increase. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we haven't added high value assets. If we do add a public safety building at some point, then we can expect to see
Shockingly.
a very large increase in insurance as a result, only because of the value of the building.
Even though we're getting rid of our riskier facility.
That would be decreased then.
Yeah.
So it'll be a consideration as we move forward with that, but
Did
it's
anybody else go down?
nobody else went
Nobody
down.
did.
The
Yeah,
next,
we stood right.
yeah. the next lowest was Knox County at 1.52% increase.
We were the only one that decreased.
We're the only one that decreased. I don't recall another time where we had a decrease.
Cool.
But the
No
overall
one does
average
either.
was
The overall was
Was
8.61.
8.1, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some of this has to do with the work that we're doing for cybersecurity. We're trying to prevent risk there, and as a result, we haven't had claims for that, and other counties have. So,
Well, some good news there.
yeah, good news.
Certainly.
Washington ever get anything, their situation covered by risk pool?
At this point, I don't think that that's being covered.
And actually, we've discussed it at one of the risk pool meetings and they analyzed it and it's just, however you may try to frame it, it was just no coverage.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it was left. Washington County, I haven't heard is contesting that decision at all.
Yeah, I think that the approach is that the situation isn't a result of a theft. So there isn't really
A loss.
a loss.
Dude.
It happened because they didn't send out tax bills that were high enough. And that doesn't really reflect a loss. So we don't need to make any kind of a change to our budget as a result of that. We put in an estimated increase, but in the grand scheme of our overall budget, it's not gonna impact it that much.
Okay, old
Fantastic.
business.
So old business, we talked about the public safety building at our last meeting, and since that time I was contacted by an individual that wanted to share some real estate listings that are in the town of Noblesboro for property that we might want to consider. So I have some preliminary maps printed out for that. I don't know what a price point is yet. At this point, I know that they're looking to subdivide all of the land currently, but if it's something that we're interested in pursuing, then possibly we could purchase all of them. I also came across another listing for some property in Newcastle that would be large enough, but I don't know that the setting is really ideal for us at this point in time. So I shared those with Commissioner Levesque, and I'm sure that we'll be talking about it some more. Other,
Still sort of, the last vote was to look at that other site and, so we're sort of doing this in tandem.
right,
In case it's warranted to bring it back to the board to see if we need to shift gears at any time, right?
So if you are thinking that you want to have a purchase option, is that how it was
Yeah.
worded? If you wanted a purchase option, we do have some reserve funds available that we could make that payment available as part of the negotiations.
But to me, it's for the property that we voted on looking at, there is an issue about access to the highway and permitting for that, and maybe having that answered before we do it, if we can get that access. Is probably a crucial point to sort of get before we actually make any option or pursue any option.
Would you like me to have the planning office?
Yes, if we could, if
Make
they
some
could
inquiry?
assist with that, yeah.
Okay.
I think you have an email message of the person that they can talk to at the highway department. That is their permit specialist. If you don't have that, let me know.
Okay, I'll get with you after the meeting on it.
But certainly if anybody hears about any, I mean, we've identified the ideal ones, and at the last meeting, we've said that those are off the table, but if anything comes close to ideal, I mean, we shouldn't just ignore it. We could just look at the possibility until we locked into something. But it's a limited space, you know,
Right.
and limited opportunities, as we discussed at the last meeting.
Right, and the other parcel that I came across in Newcastle, once you get off of Route 1, then you get into the situation where you're in neighborhoods and you have residential folks very close by, so and the roadway isn't going to be the same as a Route 1 access, so that's one of the things that we're taking into consideration, but I haven't stopped looking.
Any questions on that? All right,
Nope.
then. So let's just keep that as old business, and we'll move on to opioid settlement funding grant application.
So this is the recovery residents that we have an application that's still pending.
Oh, yes.
As far as I know, the nonprofit status has not been formally approved yet. That went to the federal government. It happened during shutdown, so.
And if I recall at our last meeting, that was holding up our consideration of approving the application, because we wanted to make sure that they were a 501c3.
Right, right. And they're required to have that status in order to get state recognition under Maine, I forget the acronym, but there's a accreditation in the state that is specific to residences like this.
Has the applicant been informed that we're not gonna be able to do the approval until they get the other approval, or?
I did ask about that, so.
Yeah.
I need to follow up again.
She closed on that property.
She did.
They're doing plenty of other.
Oh, they're
things.
moving forward
Yeah,
with it,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. There are some repairs that need to be made to the building before they can actually use it as a residence, so that's one of the things that's going to hold them up.
Yep.
And then there's some furniture that needs to be purchased. That'll be an easy acquisition.
But do they have the animals yet, or they can't take them until?
I didn't ask that.
I'm sure that, you know, they want to have the infrastructure, but probably before they start accepting.
I didn't dig in that
Yeah,
deep.
that's okay. All right, then, we'll keep that under old business as well. Commissioner updates, any updates from the commissioners?
Do we know when the annual meeting is for MCCA? That's the 25 calendar. That's not going to be helpful.
I would have gotten there.
Should be next week.
Well, I think they rescheduled it.
No, I think it was the end of, later in January.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't recall if I got an email. for
I
it or
don't
not.
have it on my calendar.
Always consult the website. You might get dates from 2020.
Yeah,
Something.
it may not be. So I currently have it on the 14th, but I don't know if that's, and there was some discussion at the last MCCA meeting that it wouldn't be in Augusta, it would be at another,
Oh, boy.
yeah. And I can't remember what county that was. It wasn't Aroostook, so I wasn't too thinking we gotta do some long-term planning, but it wasn't for Kennebec County.
On their website, they have Friday, January 30th in person and via Zoom.
Where?
Oh, really? Wow,
It doesn't say where.
that is not convenient.
Oh,
On there.
I take that back. It does say the location and venue will be the Somerset County Jail.
In Skowhegan.
Oh, it's
Where
gonna
they-
be.
Skowhegan.
Okay.
Where's that on there?
Homepage,
Yep. You just scroll down.
the next, right here.
Uh-huh. So is that the?
That will be the annual meeting, yes.
Just because it's in January.
I have a conflict that day, so if maybe one of you could attend that in my stead,
Yeah, I
that
could
would be helpful.
probably. Hope they go to that.
Does your town close on Fridays or?
No,
No,
maybe
okay.
one day. But it's fine, I can figure that out.
If you could, yeah, that would be helpful, thank you.
Okay, other dates. There is a Two Bridges Regional Jail Authority meeting on January 14th at 4 p.m. Got a Coastal Counties Workforce Board meeting on Friday, January 23rd at 8:45, and the Lincoln County Regional Planning Commission has their executive committee meeting on January 27th at 6 p.m. I believe that's all the updates and calendar items for me.
Commissioner Blighty, do you have anything you want to add? Okay. Then I guess next on the agenda is an executive session. So what's your pleasure?
Move to enter executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 405-6A for discussion of personnel.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes 3.